Hi guys, for anyone paying attention, there has been a ramping up of the blaming of everyone but the Tory government for what's happening at the moment. As Chancellor Rishi Sunak cut funding for schools when it came to fixing crumbling buildings, but it wasn't his fault. The Education Secretary tried to blame journalists when she acted in an arrogant way, and then tried to blame a trust which she's actually in charge of. Now we have Therese Coffey, the head of DEFRA, trying to blame the regulator when it comes to her responsibility and her governments when it comes to holding water companies to account over raw sewage discharges. Absolutely pathetic.
It seems like even on the 19th of July last summer, which was the hottest day on record, the middle of a dry spell, that even then there was sewage being released illegally. I mean, you've talked about the Environment Agency. Do you also take your share of the responsibility for this?
Well, it does seem extraordinary on the hottest day of the year that there may be releases, but...
Why would it be extraordinary? Now, also notice that she didn't answer the question, do you take any responsibility? Of course she doesn't take any responsibility, but she won't say that. She's not that arrogant. She's pretty arrogant, but she won't come out and say, I'm not taking any responsibility. But she won't take responsibility because she doesn't give a crap, no pun intended. She doesn't give a crap about the environment or the consequences of these raw sewage discharges. And why would it be so strange for these companies to discharge raw sewage on the hottest day of the year, a dry period? Because there are no consequences for them. There's no disincentive for them to dump this raw sewage into waterways, and there's no incentive for them to clean up their act. The Tory policy is just allow them to maximise profit. If there has to be some investment, don't worry, we'll hand you some taxpayer money, but you can continue to make a profit. That's the goal here. Until we're out of office. We're going to protect you until we're out of office. And then the Labour Party will come in and then they'll probably do something different. But don't worry, you have another year, maybe a year and a half of pumping raw sewage into waterways, into lakes, whatever, and we'll have your back. Don't worry.
Again, I go back to the fact the Environment Agency is the regulator. They will be the people who will do the detailed investigation and understanding of why all that has happened and what they're going to do about it in terms of, was it a breach, is there an explanation, or frankly, had the water companies literally dropped the ball and messed up? And in which...
Messed up! Dropped the ball and messed up. Now, the problem here, of course, is deflection. The Environment Agency, well, if you go down to the bottom of their own website, on the government's website, it says here, we work to create better places for people and wildlife and support sustainable development. The Environment Agency is an executive non-departmental public body sponsored by the Department for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. And who is the Secretary of State for the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs? That's her right there. So once again, taking no responsibility. It's not my fault that these companies are pumping raw sewage into rivers and lakes. And, notice that she didn't admit knowledge of this. Of course she knew about it. She's getting updates on this on a daily basis. I'm sure she's having meetings where they're saying, how much raw sewage was pumped into rivers and lakes on this day? And she's been told. Who are the companies doing it? Here are the companies doing it. Okay, just keep going. We're not going to punish them because they're making a profit. We don't want to damage their profit. We'll pretend to care. We'll pretend to punish them. But at the end of the day, we have their back, as I said before. It's pathetic. What is the point of Therese Coffey? I really hope she loses her seat at the next general election and she's gone and we don't have to see her face anymore. Because she's a pathetic minister. She does nothing. When she was head of Department of Work and Pensions, she made the situation worse. When she was head of the Health Department, she made the situation worse. And now she's head of DEFRA. She's just indifferent to the corruption and indifferent to the damage that's been done to rivers and lakes, to the environment, and to the well-being of people. A number of surfers, I believe, got ill recently because they were swimming in this contaminated water. She has to take responsibility for that, but of course she won't. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.